and sisters, Ambazonian people, I salute you all. My name is Fru Nkimben. I come to you this blessed day to share some ideas and personal thoughts. I don't claim to know, but I believe that when we share ideas and we can work together, and that is the root from where Southern Cameroonians came from, discussing ideas and working together. So in the short video, I will be sharing my ideas that I have been speaking to my team here in Lowell, Massachusetts. I would say I am lucky to have engaged the Lowell community such that they have taken our plight, the crisis in Ambazonia, very, very personal to themselves. And I have been able to educate and involve these, most of them old diplomats who have retired and they have served around the world. With their guidance and with their wisdom, I have been able to learn a lot from them, and I want to share with you. If you don't like what I am telling you or what I am passing over to you, please kindly just share your own thoughts. And at the end of this video, would you kindly please subscribe to my videos so that I would bring you more. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I really think that in 2021 should be a new year for us Ambazonian to work together to be able to fight for our liberation. We have accomplished so much in the last 4 years, and no one really doubts that. But sometimes we get carried away and keep going back to what is not important. I have equally attended so many conferences, and what I have realized is that, and even most non-Cameroonians have also approached me and told me that, Fru, you have a very, very compelling case, but your people talk more to themselves than talking to the world. And that is striking enough, because 99% of the delegates, the attendees, are Ambazonian. I ask myself, why are we out of Ambazonian? What is it that can really make us to take our own cry, our own suffering, the sufferings of our people, to the streets of America, to the streets of the big capitals in the world that host us? And with that, I just decided that I will make this video and share my own experience, my own thoughts, that we cannot be doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. We really need to change our strategy, and the new strategy should be that we take our message on the streets and pavements, the boroughs, the neighbors, and the counties of the various countries that are hosting us, so that a common man on the street should be able to feel our pain, and by doing so, they will help us, maybe connect us to their political leaders, and by so doing, we build allies who can now push our case through and through the ballots, and also let their politicians know that this is one of the issues that is of importance to them, and that if they don't take it seriously, it can cost them some votes. So if we are able to look at, to strategize from that viewpoint, you will see that we will then focus our attention on on building friendship and allies with non-Ambazonian than talking to ourselves. So I hope I make sense, but I think that as our brothers and sisters are dying on the ground, we should be able to mobilize the international community and take a lesson from the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter. You know, the Black Lives Matter started in 2013 by two black ladies, and it has swept the whole world, as well as the Me Too movement started in 2016, just at the time that our own struggle picked up. And they doubt it, but you see, it has given voice to women marginalization and oppression and misuse, and this has actually brought down senators, movie stars, and the untouchable. So too, we should learn from that experience, not running to the top, but walking at the bottom to mobilize our base, to be able to rise up and shake the powers that be. We all know, and we all were told growing up, that the truth will set you free, that the truth shall prevail. That foundation makes me to say that a country that is built on lies and deception or built on sand can never hold. Our concept of Cameroon is a country built under deception, lies, and manipulation. Why should I say so? You know, we, the people of the British Southern Cameroon, today, the Ambazonians, by nature, we are honest. We are peace-loving. Why do I say so? You would realize that since the formation of our state in 1954, we have never been aggressive to our neighbors. All what we have shown and demonstrated is compassion, welcoming refugees, welcoming people who were running away from oppression and dictatorship. Yes, and we were known, the people of the British Southern Cameroon, then West Cameroon, as peaceful as we were. The other part of Cameroon was not that peaceful, has never been peaceful, has never been honest, has never really been true to itself. When we joined this dishonest group of people as Cameroonians, now we heard the term Anglophone. That term did not come from us. When we were Southern Cameroon, we were Southern Cameroonians, British Southern Cameroonians. We were called West Cameroonians. But when we peacefully joined with East Cameroonians, the French Cameroonians, they label us Anglophone. That term Anglophone should ring a bell, that they consider us as different and they treated us as such. So, fellow brothers and sisters, I want us to think, really think, and this is what will really concerns all of us. This peaceful flag, blue and white with yellow stars and a peaceful dove bringing the message of peace, tells who we are and who we have always been and who we want to become. But our brothers and sisters have shed so much blood, and that at the end of the day, great minds will prevail. I like to use this opportunity to address our fellow brothers in the diaspora. We left Ambazonia to come abroad for greener pastures. I would say that our forefathers, our leaders, and I will mention one in particular, who answered our question in 1985 during a congress in Bamenda. As a young party police and not knowing what the party was all about or what the role of a party police, we asked our second venerable Prime Minister, Dr. John Go Foncha, about the struggle, the marginalization that we Ambazonians are not being treated as equal citizens in the country that we call ours, and that it is about time for us to do something to fight for our freedom. I quite remember Pa Foncha, in his gentle, prophetic manner, told us, go to school. Go to school. It is easier to kill a serpent in the egg. Fast forward 30 years and something after, I realized his wisdom. Our numbers were few. We had no education. And if we had started something then, French Cameroon will crush us because of their number. They will take an opportunity to dissolve the 2 cubes of sugar. Yes, what our elders can see sitting down, the youth with the energy do not have that foresight. We listen, and here we are today. We are scattered out of Cameroon. And what do? We are fighting this struggle from many directions, many means. But there is one thing that I have heard time and again from non-Ambazonians who are now our hosts. And it is very, very typical about us. Most of these people tell me, Fru, you know what? It is very, very difficult to deal with your people. Their intellect is very, very high. They are well educated. But when they give them an opportunity to express themselves and tell the whole world about the sufferings of your people, they spend a lot of time in academics, talking about the history, talking about what happened 50 years ago. And these matured Americans, they said, Fru, we are not interested in that. If you can advise your people with all their education, if they have an opportunity to speak to the world, you have a wealth of information to share. Let the people know the sufferings of your people. Today, now, your people are being massacred. Properties are being destroyed with impunity. Kids, babies, your parents, the old, the sick are being killed day in and day out. And there's practically no respect for the lives of your dear people. If there is anything that I take from that discussion, is that Americans in particular, and I believe Europeans and all the other people around the world, they do not want to know about what happened 50 years ago. They want to know about what is currently happening now. I urge our leaders, I urge all Ambazonians, I urge everyone who has vested into this struggle, that with our brothers and sisters who are paying with their dear lives, their blood is moisturing that blessed land. We in the diaspora should be able to highlight their sufferings, what is currently happening now. If you are given an opportunity, talk about the massacre, talk about the genocide, talk about the looting, talk about the misery, the intimidation, talk about the burnings, schools, hospitals, talk about the lack of peace and the brutality. When we spend much time talking about history, at the end, instead of selling your story that can galvanize sympathy, compassion for your people, we miss the point. We really, really miss the point. The Europeans will go to Africa and take pictures of poor kids with flies entering their nostrils and mouths and use that to raise funds, because they know that that's what they're appealing to people's compassion, emotion. When people see that, good people would not want to see anyone suffer anywhere. They use that. But we, Ambazonians, when we are given an opportunity to talk about our struggle, we spend time talking about the UN, we spend time talking about ourselves, we spend time talking about what happened in the 60s. I'm not saying that what happened in the 60s is not important. There's a difference between educating our people and also giving what is of importance to the international community to instigate, to stir them up, to be able to stand and say enough is enough. Yet we complain a lot that the international community doesn't do anything for us. I salute all people who are working behind the scene, like in Britain, to get the British Parliament, team in Chicago and all over America, that are working behind the scene to get lawmakers. I will urge you, brothers and sisters, the greatest power is with the common people. In 2021, we need to come up with a strategy and planning for the midterm elections. There are 2 years away. We need, as Ambazonians, to mobilize ourselves across America and get into the habit of showing that we are a voting bloc. Because if we can demonstrate that we have the votes, we are organized, politicians will not just help you just because they want to help you. They help you because they see what is in it for themselves. And what is in it for themselves is how many votes can you provide them at the next election. If only we have that strategy in mind, we start at the local level, go to the state level, then the federal level. We will be able to mobilize Ambazonians to lay the groundwork to make themselves known. Imagine the current administration, how many Nigerians are in the government? That is political mobilization, engagement. So, my fellow Ambazonians, we should change our strategy. When we are given the microphone, we have to think of the sufferings of our people. We talk about them, we not try to sell ourselves. When we spend more time quarreling about ourselves, talking about our education, our certificates, and talking to ourselves instead of talking to people who do not know our cry, at the end of the day, we will have done worse to our people back in Ambazonia. And let me tell you, this is the right time for us to engage the people out of Cameroon. If we don't do that now, by engaging ourselves into the political atmosphere wherever we are, the business community, when we win our country, we should be able to, and bringing in these people to help us rebuild our country. And when you engage with them, you learn how democracy works. You learn how you can engage, you solve problems by discussing the issues, not talking about people. We who are fortunate to be out of Ambazonia, our brothers and sisters are waiting on us to bring the light, to bring the democracy, what we have experienced. If we do not engage with our host country and learn what politics, that you can disagree with your opponent, but you counter out with good ideas and work together. If we don't do that, I am afraid La République has taught us a very, very bad lesson to behave. We will go home and be worse than the Francophones, the Francophones. We cannot, and we can never coexist, because their own mentality, they have no compassion. They are not civil. They do not know progress and do not want progress. So we should be doing everything possible to learn as much as we can from our host out of Ambazonia, so that that connection, that leverage, that network, we will need it when we are going back to build our country and to help our brothers who are on the ground fighting, dying. And we are fighting this war from afar in the comfort of our rooms, and we should really give them thanks and spread the words. And all we can do is convince the ordinary man, the ordinary woman who is not an Ambazonian to know about our sufferings. I call on us all, when you are given an opportunity to talk about the war in Ambazonia, please be brief and focus your attention on what is happening now on the ground. And think again, Black Lives Movement and the Me Too movement have taught us a lesson that in the 21st century, the most important weapon is that of empowering the common man, because the power of the people is more important than the people in power. And if we can successfully sensitize, mobilize, and educate the power of the people, the masses, to understand that the people in power have abused the power that we give them, we will, power of the people, rise and take control and bring down those in power. Until we know this, the few that have power will continue to abuse the power of the people. Power of the people is more important than the people in power. And when the people in power abuse the power of the people will rise up and rectify the situation. And that is called people power and the revolution from below up, not from top down.